Time now for the Educated Retirement Show with your host, Jay Kaplan. Jay discusses reverse mortgages and can answer your questions at 951-922-3532. Call lines are open at 951-922-3532. And now, here's Jay.
Yeah, there we go. Boy, that music makes it sound like something big time is happening. Well, it is. I am pretty big. So, let me welcome everyone to the Educated Retirement here on KMET 1490 AM, where we contemplate retirement and we contemplate, what else we contemplate? How to stay retired and happily retired. So today we have Lori with us, and you know that if you've been here before, Lori's been on the show at least 3 times, I think, and has gotten some business or at least some hellos. Walked right in her door, even in Fullerton, and she's going to talk about horror. She is our horror queen because she does taxes, and she also loves horror movies, so I can't think of a better combination for someone. Because today we are going to compare Love Me Tender with the Tennessee Waltz and why neither one of those were sung in the movie Taxi Driver. But hang on, we will get to it. You know that I am not retired, but I can definitely write you a prescription. Let me get my... Yeah, that's right. I need this out. There you go. How you doing? Thump, 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 thump. You're doing fine. Okay, here comes your prescription to learn a lot more about the best and safest loan program on the planet. The reverse mortgage, the home equity conversion, whatever you want to call it. I'd much rather call it the home equity conversion. Now, let me tell you something. I am so busy right now, I can hardly see straight. Well, other than being cross-eyed and ugly. It is such a high demand, and not because people are going broke. So, although there's nothing against AAG, that's what they talk about on their ads because it is low-hanging fruit. But because people who have money want to be able to keep it, and there's no better way. Well, let me just put it up there. It's up there as one of the best ways to protect what you already have. So, how to find out? Call me. So ask me for a free look at what you got and get some education. Doesn't take much time, fast and easy. My off-air number is 866-955-2233. There it is, right back there somewhere. 866-955-2233. Knowledge is power, someone once said, so I'm going to go along with that. Now, do I have a day job? Yes. I am a loan officer at the Loan Source, my NMLS, and of course you want to know what that is. That's the National Mortgage Lenders something or other. I keep forgetting because I want to say one thing and I know it's something else. And my is 384-465, and my Department of Real Estate is 792-630. And, you know, I don't need to take tests or continuing education at all for that. Why? Because I've been licensed under the Department of Real Estate for over 30 years continuously and never had a complaint. So there. And I don't sell real estate, but so be it. But, you know, we believe here in challenging the status quo. And you need to be active, not reactive. Remember what Kirk said last week about putting together that group. So call me. I know a lot of good people that could be a part of that. You know a good people. Let's put them together. What is today? I hope that Ron Siegel is watching because this is right up his alley and mine. This is Clean Out Your Refrigerator Day. That's right, clean it out, which means eat all you can. And I know you're going to say, I already have, but maybe not. It's also National Bunt Pan Day. So remember last week I did a dissertation That's a very intelligent way of saying we talked about dunce caps. So I thought I might wear a bunt pan on my head today, but I didn't. Today is Georgia O'Keeffe's birthday, and she popped into our world in 1887, and she left it in 1986. So she got up there pretty good. World famous painter, well, we all know. Flowers and New York City skyscrapers. So flowers and skyscrapers, kind of the same thing. She did New Mexico landscapes, bones, shells, rocks, leaves, and skyscrapers. She's recognized as the mother of American modernism. So she drove a Model A Ford around the desert. I don't think of Taos, though, as completely desert. I mean, I think that's where she lived. But in any case, there's desert around there. Anyway, she had a Model A, and she had detachable seats in the front so that she could take those seats out and use that as a studio. So to do her painting in. So that was the location from which she did her painting, which was good protection from the heat and the rain. So it made it had a top that came off and on. And she was, unlike myself, given the Presidential Medal of Freedom and Medal of Freedom and the National Medal of Arts. I didn't get that one either. So she painted until she was 96. Looks like she lived till she was 99. So that's very good active life. And she was married, too. Her husband was Alfred Stieglitz. Now, that may or... this is too heavy for me. That may or may not be a household name to you like it is in our household. But here's one book he did. I was going to show you some of the pictures, but you never know what it opened to. Some of them are naughty. Anyway, he was a very famous American photographic artist, and he was also a scientist and published photographic journals and established a reputation for advancements in photochemistry. And somebody that my wife learned a lot from, and I think I've shown you some of her photochemical paintings before. I'll try and put a 1-minute video up here on a future show. So with that, I'm going back to the refrigerator because there is more to eat. So we'll see you back in a minute or two. That tune. I hate to break into it. That should be my theme. It's got a, it's a minor key, but anyway, we're here on the Mighty Met, 1490 KMET. Welcome back to the Educated Retirement. So remember, go over to www.drhecm.com. Go about halfway down to where it says YouTube. Click on there. There's so much there. All of these shows are there. Snippets, my favorite parts, and then just the educational parts with guests are separated also, so you can see all that good stuff. So sign up. I signed up for my own YouTube channel, and I do not get bugged with notices all the time. So we'll go back to people's birthdays. So we got a couple good ones. How about Petula Clark, who joined us in 1932, which makes her older than me. She is, and you know this part, singer, actress, composer, she was known as the First Lady of the British Invasion. And of course, we all know what British Invasion is. Does this mean she is the first one or on the top of the pile? Could be a little of both or all of both. Sean is about to sing us her famous song, Downtown. Go, Sean.
No, I think we want to keep the listeners, Jay.
Oh, okay. So that popped out in 1965 and sold 3 million copies. Of course, you know from last week's show, it did not outsell Tennessee Waltz. But did you know that Petula Clark won a Grammy for Best Rock and Roll Recording for Downtown? I'd never considered that rock and roll, but so be it. It also got into the Grammy Hall of Fame. And she also won the Best Contemporary Vocal Grammy for the performance of I Know a Place. And so do I. I don't know if I'm going there or not. So this is what I found real interesting. She was featured in the 1945 filming. This movie came out in 47. This movie is I Know Where I'm Going, and sang the title song. Did you ever hear of that movie, Sean?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, I'm going to highly recommend it. I really love it. But in any case, so she did that, and we talked about Shirley Bassey and Patti Page, and now we have this for these movie people of this. But that movie, I Know Where I'm Going, was directed by, actually produced by their company, Powell and Pressburger. Who is Powell and Pressburger, you may ask? Well, I got a couple of clients in LA, one who is a retired cameraman, and the other one is still an active editor. And I actually got them a couple of these movies because Martin, if you were to ask me right now, who is Martin Scorsese's favorite director, it was Powell and Pressburger. Those are two guys. Powell, I think, did more of the directing. Pressburger did a lot of the producing. I don't know. But that's Scorsese's favorite director. He did a couple more. Here's one for you, or for anybody who cares. Life and Death of Colonel Blimp. This film just blew me away the first time I saw it. And it is, as it says on the back too, considered to be the best British film ever made. It is mind-boggling, I think, and I recommend it to everyone. And Powell's wife became Martin Scorsese's editor. And she was the editor on such films as Taxi Driver and Raging Bull. So, I mean, this is big time. Which, by the way, those are on Criterion. Right now, Criterion, now I don't know, maybe other places. I know on Amazon is big time sales. So the last ones I bought was not part of the big time sale, but if you're interested in Criterion or anything movie, if you're interested in movies, you know Criterion. And you know you're not going to get anything like it on a digital download. So that movie, I Know Where I'm Going, is a very romantic movie taking place in the Scottish Islands. And it's really a romantic movie where the two protagonists still, well, most love stories, I think, are great, are ones where they never do get together. This one they do. And I would say, since, Sean, you're asking me, what are my favorite two love stories? Movies. I'm going to say Brief Encounter from David Lean, and Black Narcissus from Guess Who, Powell and Pressburger. So I think you really, really need to look into those. So who else was today? Ed Asner, actor in TV, movies, holds the most primetime Emmy Awards for acting, 7. Mary Tyler Moore Show from 1970 to 77. He was the voice of the guy, the old guy. You know, look at the camera right now and see an old guy. There was an old guy in that beautiful movie, and that was Ed Asner. He also played, I don't know if you recall, Guy Bannister in JFK and so much TV, including the crowning achievement of his career, the Christmas special of X-Files with Lily Tomlin on how the ghost stole Christmas. And before I stole or steal all the time from our sponsors, yeah, I do have some, believe it or not. Let's take a break, and we'll be back soon. Good music. Who is that, Sean?
That's Mr. Guthrie Groven.
Guthrie Groven.
Okay. Govan, Govan.
Govan. Okay, so I thought I was the master of jazz. I don't know. I almost said a naughty word, air. I don't know nothing of what you know in some of this. So you are the king. So on this day in history, what happened other than you teaching me some new jazz stuff? Here on KMET 1490, your home planet. Oh, let me just break in and give you my phone number one more time. Let me turn around so I can read it. I'm going to try to say it like Sean. 866-955-2223. What do you think? That sound like you, except for that crack in the voice?
Yeah, I think you messed up the last part of the number. I think that's 2233.
That's what I thought I was saying. I didn't. Now I'm going to let you say it. You say it. Go ahead.
866-955-2233.
All right. Now that's a real master. So, and also there's, when Lori comes on the show, she's going to want to talk about taxes for next year, but we're going to talk about, I'm sure, some horror movies too. So if you feel like calling in, Sean, please throw that either on the screen or yell it out.
All right, I got it up on the. It's 951-922-3532.
I like the way you drag that 2 out at the end. This day in history, Walt Disney Art Studio was created. And at the same time, he signed an exclusive for a new 3-strip process for Silly Symphonies from Technicolor. Now, we all know there was 2-strip color for a long time, which looked kind of funky, but it was cool. And then there was 3-strip, which was like way exaggerated colors, but we love it, like Wizard of Oz, and especially like Wizard of Oz and Adventures of Robin Hood. But anyway, he had exclusively, I had no idea, for Silly Symphonies, 3 Little Pigs, and that led to Snow White. And speaking of 3 Little Pigs, actually there was 4 of them, but the Marx Brothers, Night at the Opera was released on this day. A different 3 Little People. There was mostly, I think there was 3 at that time. And that film was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. That was, I believe, their second phase. The first phase was much sillier, which had, films like Duck Soup, Room Service, that kind of thing. And by the way, Diane, if you're out there listening or watching, I appreciate it. And thank you for your hospitality this morning. Danny or Dan or both, which I mean junior and senior, thank you guys also very much for your hospitality 3 different times this week. So let's get on with this and let you know that Sam Wood was the director of the Marx Brothers. Now, if you know anything about Sam Wood, you don't put him together with the Marx Brothers very easily, but he pulled it off. He also did the original Goodbye, Mr. Chips. And guess who was in the remake of Goodbye, Mr. Chips in 1969? Yes, it was. It was Petula Clark. And she came back. Elvis Presley's first movie, Love Me Tender, was released. Not the song. The movie. And that was not supposed to be called Love Me Tender. It was originally supposed to be called The Reno Brothers. which never heard of before. But it was changed because Love Me Tender was such a huge hit prior to the movie. But what beat it out? Sean, listeners, you remember the biggest selling single of the 20th century, Patti Page, Tennessee Waltz, which still surprises me to some degree. But since it is 28 after, and Laurie is waiting to come in, I'm going to make that short so that we can have a much longer discussion with Laurie. We're going to talk about tax changes, how they affect next year, anything good like that. All right, so remember, there's that phone number if you're watching up on the top of the screen, 951-922-3532. I did that too, like Sean. So let's give it back to Sean, and thanks, Sean, while you're there. And we'll be back with Laurie in just a minute.